They called it a joke before it even arrived. To the rest of the galaxy it was pathetic. A single Terran ship entering contested space. No escorts. No diplomatic broadcast. No escort drones. No cloaking. Just a long black wedge of steel hurtling toward the Kael'Vorn Armada's blockade at point 83C, slow by galactic standards. They called it a trash barge with a propulsion fetish. The Galactic News Net ran headlines. Earth's warship or flying coffin? Terrans mistake rust for power again. Kael'Vorn ready to display real weapons. And to be fair, it wasn't much to look at. No polished hull. No color panels. No organic flow tech like the Kael'Vorn grew into their vessels. Just flat metal and old geometry. Angular. Primitive. Human. The war zone. The Kael'Vorn Armada had been stationed outside the Azura Gate for weeks, daring any species to challenge their expansion. The Azura Gate was the only natural rift that allowed FTL bypass between the Orion Bastion and the Central Galactic Lanes. Control it and you controlled commerce. Travel. Power. Earth had only one colony past the gate. Small. Agricultural. Strategic only by chance. When the Kael'Vorn annexed it, the Galactic Council offered silence. Earth offered a name. The UHS Resolute. No one took it seriously. Ambassador Velser of the Kael'Vorn, a quadrupedal predator known for dismembering political rivals mid-negotiation, laughed openly during a council broadcast. They send one ship? One. We took their colony and they send a museum piece. Will it fire potatoes or stories? Laughter echoed in council halls. Even Earth's allies looked away. Humanity hadn't fought a war in decades. They didn't maintain a grand navy. Their ships were few. Their budgets were low. Their tech, eccentric. But the Resolute was moving. Quietly. Purposefully. Toward the most powerful fleet in the known galaxy. Aboard the Resolute, Captain Yannick stood at the helm in a uniform with no rank pins. He didn't need them. The Resolute had no command hierarchy. No admiralty chains. It had crew, and those crew were handpicked across 30 years not for loyalty but for survivability. Chief Engineer Ando had once survived a dark matter core breach and rebuilt a fusion drive using spoons and seat cushions. Weapons Officer Liu once detonated a railgun slug inside an enemy ship's FTL pocket. Navigator Singh piloted through a black hole's lensing edge while drunk and blind in one eye. This wasn't a navy. It was a problem Earth built for other people's problems. And it had just arrived. The fleet that waited. The Kael'Vorn Armada numbered 72 ships. All state-of-the-art. Gleaming. Covered in solar shimmer scales and bristling with energy lances, entropy cannons, gravity shears. Each ship could sterilize a continent. They didn't even power up shields when the Resolute came into range. Commander Frockole of the Dreadnought Devourer of Suns issued a final taunt. If you flee now, we'll let your crew live long enough to explain your funeral. The Resolute gave no reply. It didn't need to. It stopped moving. Then the front hull began to open. The weapon that wasn't supposed to exist. Galactic law banned planet-killer weapons after the Threnic extinctions. The Council mandated energy caps, mass limits, and heat signatures detectable from 2 systems away. So when the Resolute's front bay peeled open and nothing appeared, no charge, no flash, no energy spike, Kael'Vorn sensors read it as a malfunction. The Dreadnought Devourer of Suns pinged a final message. You're broken, Terrans. We'll fix that. And then, it happened. The shot. 1 second. That's all. No sound. No light. Just a sudden absence. Space folded in on itself like wet paper. Where the Devourer of Suns once was, there was now a hollow. Not wreckage. Not fire. Not even vapor. Just silence. Every sensor on every Kael'Vorn ship screamed. Energy had not been projected. It had been subtracted. The rest of the fleet locked targeting systems. Too late. The Resolute fired again. And again. 6 shots, 6 holes. 6 shots. 6 Kael'Vorn capital ships vanished. No debris. No survivors. No warnings. They were deleted, erased at a molecular level through spacefold inversion. It wasn't a gun. It was a black equation loaded into a railgun. A weapon Earth had never admitted to having. No lights. No heat. Just goodbye. Panic swept the fleet. The Kael'Vorn opened fire. Too late. The fleet tries to fight back. Entropy lances screamed across the void. Dozens of beams slammed into the Resolute, only to be absorbed by something the Kael'Vorn couldn't identify. Their shots never reached hull. They vanished mid-space. Aboard the Resolute, Engineer Ando sipped his tea. See? Told you the meta-shifted bubble curtain would hold. Captain Yannick nodded. How many shots left? Just the one, sir. Yannick smiled. That'll do. The final message. The Resolute broadcast just once. It wasn't long. It wasn't angry. It was calm. To the Kael'vorn Armada. We are not conquerors. We warned you. We gave you time. This is what comes after laughter. Then it fired the seventh shot. Straight through the Kael'vorn command ship. Then it left. The Resolute didn't stay. Didn't demand terms. Didn't circle back to celebrate. It turned. Activated its drive. And left the Kael'vorn blockade in ruin. 72 ships had come to mock Earth. Only 7 were touched. Only 7 were enough. Across the galaxy, reverence. The Council stopped laughing. All transmission coverage of the Resolute was cut. Too many governments feared how their people might react. But the footage still leaked. Millions watched it. Some were horrified. Most were awed. The ship hadn't spoken in threats. It hadn't made demands. It had warned them. And when that wasn't enough, it acted, once. The wreckage of pride. What remained of the Kael'vorn Armada limped back into safe orbit around Thalos Beta, one of their core bastion worlds. The entire War Council convened in silence. No banners. No honor salutes. No ceremonial bloodletting. Because there were no victories to mark. They had expected rebellion. They had expected losses. They hadn't expected annihilation. No wreckage. No tombs. No bodies. Just missing names on a fleet manifest and a hollow, growing dread. Inside the Council of Teeth. On Kael'vorn Prime, the highest-ranking officials gathered beneath the glass throne of the Teeth Speaker. Their armored robes, once ceremonial, now hung heavy with anxiety. Earth has violated the galactic conventions, hissed Admiral Shurtal. They used a forbidden weapon. They deny even possessing such a thing, countered First Tactician Kraven. And we have nothing to analyze. No data. No signature. No proof. They fired only 7 times, the Teeth Speaker said finally. What message does that send? That they don't need to fire again. Silence followed. And then, anger. A dozen empires demanded Earth be sanctioned, blockaded, erased. But one question stopped them cold. What if we can't? The intelligence blame game begins. Galactic Intelligence Division scrambled. Everyone wanted answers. Theories bloomed like wildfire. It's not a weapon, it's a spatial virus they coded. They tapped into a quantum void field, one that collapses causality itself. It was a bluff. A black hole projector running a cloaked nanotech array. It's Earth's ancient AI, finally awakened. Each theory was more absurd than the last. And yet, none could be disproven. The Resolute had left no trail, no core signature, no elemental byproducts. It was as if the shots had simply edited the universe. The ship that shouldn't exist. The UHS Resolute didn't appear in any standard fleet registry. Earth refused to explain. The Council's representative, an AI named Emissary K, appeared during a live summit and answered the galactic outcry with unsettling calm. Your empires built weapons to conquer. We built one so we wouldn't have to. What is it? Demanded the Grawl Dominion's war regent. A promise made into metal. The feed cut. Across the galaxy, billions watched in fascinated horror. What kind of species forges a promise into a ship? Behind closed doors on Earth. In a bunker deep beneath Greenland's ice shelf, 12 humans sat around a circular table. Not generals. Not elected officials. Just people. Scientists. Veterans. Philosophers. One comedian. A gardener. Project Resolute they had called it, 22 years in the making. Born in the wake of Earth's near-extinction climate collapse and first contact humiliations. Their original goal had been humble. Build one thing so fearsome we'll never need to fire it. But it had fired. 7 times. And now, the gardener spoke first. We either just saved ourselves forever, or made the rest of the galaxy scared enough to unite against us. No one disagreed. Galactic fear becomes a movement. While empires debated retaliation, something unexpected happened. The small species, the scavengers, nomads and fringe civilizations, celebrated. They called it the shot heard through the stars. For generations, the Council had turned a blind eye to aggression, as long as the powerful kept the peace. But Earth had changed the equation. It wasn't just a weapon. It was dignity fired from a cannon. Whispers of the human principle. A movement began. On trade hubs and mining moons, in song and satire, in outlawed broadcasts and encrypted networks. The human principle, they called it. We do not attack first. We speak softly and laugh often. But if you force our hand, we will remove you. Entirely. Precisely. Once. Across a dozen systems, graffiti showed up on old bunkers. One ship. One shot. Still here. Kael'vorn patrols tried to erase them. They came back twice as fast. A new fear in the Council. The galactic elite weren't afraid of Earth's technology. They were afraid of its control. The Resolute had restraint. It didn't carpet bomb. It didn't boast. It didn't posture. It acted once and left. That level of precision terrified them. What kind of species builds something that can end fleets, then walks away? What kind of mind doesn't press the advantage? The answer was the real threat. A species that doesn't need to. The Kael'vorn try again. 2 weeks later, the Kael'vorn dispatched a recon fleet, not to attack Earth but to monitor. They called it the Quiet Return. 3 stealth ships. Full cloaks. Passive observation. They never made it past Saturn. Each one blinked out of sensor arrays at the same moment. No alarms. No counterfire. No heat. Just non-existence. The only message Earth sent was, "We said once." The silence that followed. Earth wasn't blocked. It wasn't attacked. It wasn't worshipped. It was watched. 1,000 species now regarded humanity like one regards a cliff's edge, stable, beautiful, and deadly if ignored. Still, Earth transmitted no more threats. No military buildup. Just broadcasts, podcasts, art, music, comedy. A children's show called Galaxy Pals. Debuted and included characters from every species, even the Kael'vorn. The host? A human child named Miri. Her closing line, every episode. Be nice, or we'll tell the Resolute. Whispers turned to obsession. The galaxy couldn't accept silence. Not after that. Not after a single ship had casually dismantled the Kael'vorn armada with mathematical precision, without declaring war, without claiming territory, without so much as a raised voice. So now they came crawling. Not openly. Not in fleets. In shadows. In encrypted packets. In cloaked probes and black site agents. They weren't just curious anymore. They were terrified. The first infiltration attempt. It was the Jainear who tried first. An insectoid race known for psychological warfare and cultural infiltration. They dispatched one of their elites, Zilly 2, a multi-lobed hive scout wrapped in biosynthetic flesh, with a thought processor capable of mimicking human neurons. Her mission: embed, learn, dissect Earth's weapon. She arrived in Nairobi, chose a bookstore as cover. Within a month she abandoned the mission. She started writing poetry. Her final report was untranslatable in Jainear code. It only came in Terran verse. I sought your engine of death, but found your living breath. You fire not to conquer, but to be left alone. The Jainear declared her insane. Earth let her stay. The Galactic Underground's discovery. The second effort came from a coalition of rogue information brokers and ex-intelligence AIs calling themselves the Fractured Signal. They didn't send agents. They sent data leeches, quantum parasites designed to eat through encryption and drag secrets back across space. They found the Resolute's drive record. Its test logs. A fragment of a design schema. But when they decrypted it, read, "If you're reading this, you've made a mistake." And then every system in their darknet hub shut down. Permanently. The architect emerges. Rumors swirled. A name began to surface. Dr. Alea Monroe. Earth-born physicist. Disappeared 25 years ago. Last known project, predictive void collapse theory. She had vanished from all records. But scattered fragments remained. A paper titled Controlled Deletion of Occupied Coordinates, The Ethics of Instant Absence. A recording of her voice. They don't need to suffer to understand. When a Growlian bounty crew came to Earth to find her, they got nothing. Except a handwritten note in the ruins of a former observatory. Read, "You've fired enough. Now you'll feel what restraint looks like." Meanwhile, on Earth, the Resolute was never refueled. Never rearmed. It sat in geosynchronous orbit, silent, unmoving, watched by 1,000 telescopes and dread-soaked imaginations. Inside, its systems ran self-checks. No one crewed her. No human stepped aboard. Her AI, Sable, spoke only once in public memory, on the day of the 7th shot. Target deleted. Returning to sleep. The next time it spoke, it would mean one thing. That someone had pushed humanity too far. An offer from the Kalhiri Pact. The Kalhiri, a reptilian alliance known for economic manipulation and soft takeovers, approached Earth with velvet words and golden promises. We honor your restraint. We seek partnership. They sent gifts, diplomats, treaties, a pleasure station in orbit. Earth accepted none. When asked why, the UN liaison simply replied, "Because you don't actually believe we're peaceful. You believe we're saving strength." The Kalhiri retracted their offers the same day. Council crisis, a fear that binds. Within the Galactic Council, division spread. Empires that once feared each other now feared only one thing: Terran silence. It wasn't just power. It was the discipline not to use it. To build something terrible, and then not touch it. To know that your enemy knows. And let that be enough. The spark. A colonial flashpoint. In the Proxen Spiral, a minor species called the Nolari declared independence from their Growlian overseers. The Growlian Empire mobilized immediately. They weren't just going to stop the rebellion, they were going to make an example. Until they heard a rumor that the Nolari had petitioned Earth for protection. No formal alliance. No weapons exchange. No fleets. Just a petition. Growlian forces halted mid-march. Within 24 hours, the Nolari rebels reported that every Growlian ship had pulled back, without a word. No confirmation from Earth. Just a single, silent ping from the Resolute. The message beneath it all. For all its power, the Resolute was not Earth's show of dominance. It was our way of saying, "You will not make us monsters. But if you force us, we will end the game, not play it." The galaxy had built its politics on deterrence, arms races, showmanship. Earth refused. We built one ship, fired once and walked away. The galaxy couldn't handle it. Because for the first time in millennia, someone meant it. The second ignition. They had forgotten. Or maybe they convinced themselves Earth had bluffed. That the Resolute's silence was proof it couldn't fire again. That perhaps the first strike was an ancient relic, a miracle we couldn't repeat. Whatever they thought, someone got bold. A small but ambitious power, the Valakar Dominion. New blood. Hungry. Desperate to make their mark. They took the colony of New FRWST, an Earth-aligned scientific outpost on the edge of the Trivar Cloud. 1,700 humans were killed. Unarmed. Peaceful. Among them, 12 schoolchildren, 2 Terran ambassadors, and 1 botanist who'd helped the Valakar terraform their first moon. The message from Valakar High Command was short. "We do not fear silence. Come. Teach us." Transmission from Earth. For 5 days, Earth said nothing. Then the skies above Valakar space rippled. No fleet. No warning. Just one line of text transmitted to every ship, every station, every broadcast array in their dominion. Lesson in progress. Then came a name. UHS Resolute, active. The final flight. Satellites captured its departure. The ship rose from Earth orbit in total silence. No escort. No fanfare. Its hull shimmered like starlight swallowing itself. It didn't accelerate, it shifted. Jump. Folded space like origami soaked in gravity. It arrived above Valakar Prime 7 minutes later. The Valakar deployed everything: plasma spheres, singularity disruptors, time echo weapons. None mattered. The Resolute did not return fire. It simply broadcast audio. A child's voice playing softly on a loop. "Be nice, or we'll tell the Resolute." Then came the first and final shot. Valakar Prime disappears. There was no explosion. No heat signature. No atmospheric displacement. Just absence. A blank sphere 13,000 kilometers wide, where the planet once floated. Ships caught in the shot's edge lost only half their hulls. Some crews survived with bodies surgically bisected by nothing at all. The Resolute broadcast once more. "This is not war. This is correction." And vanished. Council reaction, collapse. The Galactic Council fractured overnight. All talks of retaliation against Earth ceased. Sanctions were dropped. Formal apologies were issued, not once but across 300 species. And most significantly, Earth was offered the unthinkable, the Council chair itself. We refused. The reply from Earth's delegation? "We didn't fire to rule. We fired so you'd never make us do it again." The Resolute's fate. Earth sent out a final signal on an open frequency. Project Resolute complete. Ship decommissioned. Weapon disassembled. "You're on your own now." Some believed it. Some didn't. But the point was made. The next threat would not be answered by a ship. It would be answered by every species that now believed in never again. The legacy. The symbol of the Resolute, a single white line crossing a black star, became more than a warning. It became a pledge. A new doctrine spread across the galaxy. Act only once. Act only when you must. An act so clearly, no one dares test you twice. Academies taught it. Artists sculpted it. Children sang songs in a dozen tongues, each ending with the same line. They laughed. Then they vanished. And you're still here. You heard the story, the silence that followed, the warship that only fired once, and once more. You know the lesson isn't about strength. It's about what you do with it. So if this story lit something inside you, if you believe in fire held in restraint, in dignity backed by steel, in the sharp edge of mercy, then join us. Subscribe to the Void Narratives, where the war ends before it starts, and humanity fires once, because that's all it takes.